Welcome to our 21 days of abundant living. I want to make sure I'm recording. Sometimes I record a whole session and I forget to turn the camera on. So today we are covering Unity Principle 3. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. Through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. So we have covered the 4 of the 5 principles already. And all of those are really working at changing our consciousness. God is all good and everywhere present. Amen to that. We are naturally good because God's essence is in us. We co-create with our thoughts held in mind. And through prayer and meditation, we align our heart mind with God. And now we come to, through thoughts, our thoughts, so we're still changing our consciousness, our words, speaking the truth, and our actions, we live the truth we know. And I think and I'm taking most of this from this book, The 5 Unity Principles, and Ellen Davenport is taking it from Charles Fillmore and other great leaders and mentors also. But living the truth, action is more about being than doing. You can see that in people like Mother Teresa, who just her being, there was so much action in it. And when we are living in the truth of our action, we are being more of our spiritual self than our ego self. Living truth is more about being than doing. And when we are living truth, any action we take will be from a consciousness of spirit and oneness with ego in service to the soul. I like that line because ego, when we're living, when our actions are in alignment with who we truly are, our ego is in service to our soul. So when do we know when we should take actions? On page 112, of the book, the 5 Unity Principles, she has a little handy checklist you can ask yourself. And I think oftentimes I need to ask myself this also. Do I affirm divine intelligence and love in this situation? So these are questions you should ask before you take action. Do I affirm divine intelligence and love in this situation? Number 2, do I remember my own divinity and that of others involved? That's a good question. Because if we're coming from our divine self, it's going to be right and perfect action. And when we see others' divinity, we know we will not do harm. Do I take responsibility for attracting this situation into my experience and know that its outcome for me will match my thoughts and feelings about it? Do I take responsibility for attracting this situation into my experience and know that its outcome for me will match my thoughts and experiences? So when we take action, what this is saying is this action going to be in alignment with what we really want to experience? So if I'm upset with Joe and I am maybe not showing my highest self, that is probably not in alignment with what I am trying to create. Have I aligned myself with God, the universe, the good, and receive guidance before I act. Have I aligned myself with God and received guidance? Have I spent some time thinking before I move my feet and do? Because as we sit in the silence, as we sit in our oneness with God and we ask for guidance, that's probably, well, not probably, that is the most important thing. So even this principle is really, we're changing our consciousness before we move into action. And you know, spiritual action can look like many things. It can look like going out and walking and demonstrating to support a cause. It can look like any of those huge endeavors to change our society, and that's all good. In reality, though, what spiritual action looks like is who we show up as. When we're at the grocery store and someone is there with a whole cart full of groceries and they've just gotten in front of us and we're a little bit frustrated, who do we show up there? Who do we show up when somebody might be maybe berating us or upset with our opinion on some major issue? And I think all of us have been there sometimes because we seem to have a lot of differences of opinion. Who do we show up as in those situations? Do we show up as offering them consciously a blessing? Do we show up as maybe, possibly, giving our opinion as our opinion and being able to walk away from it knowing that their opinion is perfectly right and just because that is their opinion? Whatever it looks like, though, as we show up in walking our talk as the spiritual person that we are, it should feel good. It should feel positive. It should feel like there's an energy of love and joy. And if it feels bad, it's probably, most likely, not the right action you should be taking. It should feel good at the soul level. And so Ellen is saying we should really focus and move our feet towards what we want and not what we don't want. And she uses this example of politics, actually. So you might have candidate A, who you have a lot of people who just love and support, and they think that he is the best ever. And then you have, oh, my light went out. You have candidate B, and people love them. People are very supportive of candidate B, but they also despise candidate A, and they put a lot of energy into despising and finding out and talking about what's wrong with this person, etc. And she says that candidate A, because the energy is so positive, will win the election. Because the people that are following candidate A are putting that positive energy. So wherever you want to see a change, whether it's in your own life, whether it is something that you want to serve of a higher magnitude, and I say that, I do want to say that serving is, any kind of serving is of the highest magnitude, of helping your neighbor, bringing food to your neighbor, walking that dog, planting that tree or that flower, all of those servings are of the same magnitude, but maybe in different degrees. And so whatever area of service that you would like to provide, or whatever area that you want to move your feet in, keep it in the positive. Keep it in that energy of love. Keep it in the focus of your highest good. It should feel good to you, and the world will feel that highest good too. So because through the thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. And who is that truth? What is that truth? That truth is you, me, all of us here are divine beings. We are just expressing, growing, and learning to express that divinity. We're unfolding that divinity. So thank you, and hopefully I look forward to seeing you maybe this Sunday at our service. Namaste.